All right, so we should be recording. So today is demo day for iOS 11 and 14. And I believe, if I've counted correctly, we have about 13 teams. So we're going to do about 7 teams before we take a break, and then we'll come back and finish with the rest of the teams. And let's see. The format. So I'm going to be the timekeeper. So I'm going to be setting a timer. You may or may not hear a timer go off when your time is sort of going off, and I'll try to keep you on point. You've got about 4 minutes to present. I have a little bit of flexibility here, but I will let you know that when you have 1 minute remaining. And if I say time's up, we're going to move into questions. Once we're in questions, we're going to have 3 minutes of questions. If there's not 3 minutes of questions, we'll move on to the next project. And then, Spencer, if you could create a nice little thread for us in iOS. I'd like to do shout outs for any of the teams or students who are presenting. So if you just share, number one, it'd be super awesome if you have a screenshot for your app, just share it so people can remember what you presented. And then number two, just thank them or call out something that you really liked and just post that in our thread. And that's going to be in the iOS channel. So if you jump on in there, you should be able to see that thread. And why don't you just give me your favorite emoji right now? Go into iOS and under Spencer's thread, give me your favorite emoji. And you can either add it to the title of the thread or you can add it as a comment. So let's take 15 seconds and pick out your favorite emoji. Awesome. Okay, so it's looking good. Chris Gonzalez, can we start with your team? We're going to kick it off with iOS 14.
For sure.
You can just take it away. Let me just stop sharing the screen so that you can take over.
Cool. Okay, let's see here. So we're going to do this one. All right, let me know. Can you see the slide?
Looks like you're not sharing your screen yet.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Hold on one sec.
There we go. We can see the simulator right now.
All right.
Slide.
That's good.
Cool. Okay. So I was working, we're obviously in iOS 14. Scott Harris and I worked together and we created a app we call Meme It. It's a app to actually create memes on your own mobile device. And we're going to walk you through some of the features here. So that's our little launch screen. So we have that and everything. Now, our key features in this, we're going to be able to search an API. We're going to have a favorites library, the ability to create our own memes, and then a standard library with all of our memes included. So in our standard library, this is going to be a collection of all of the memes in the entire library. And on the top there, you're going to see there's a segmented bar. And what that's actually doing is going to be filtering all of our memes based on a category, which is actually an enum in our data model. And we're going to show you how that works really quick. So up there. Oh, excuse my little gesture thing. It's just so you knew where I was tapping. And there we go. So you can see that that's all working. Now, also in this screen, you're going to be able to tap on each cell, and that's going to trigger a slider menu from the bottom, which is going to have 3 features in it. You're going to be able to copy the meme to your clipboard to use in another app. You're going to be able to add it to your favorites if it's not favorited already, and that'll move it over to our favorites library. If it's already added to your favorites, that line is actually going to toggle to remove it from your favorites. And then we're also going to have a function to be able to delete the meme from the library completely. And we'll show you that a little bit later because that'll have another pop-up menu that's going to confirm your decision to delete. But as far as choosing a cell to add to our favorites, we'll show you that now because we're going to move on to favorites next. I'll just move through a few of them here so you guys kind of see how we can move through. And if you notice, some of them have already been favorited, so they only have the remove option at this point. All right, then we'll move over here in just a second to our favorites, and we'll show you how that looks now that we've made all these additions. So now coming to our favorites. All those ones that we just added will be in the completed library, which is under our All tab. And then this will work similarly to our regular library, where we'll also filter based on the categories. So if we filter through on the segmented bar up top, again, that'll filter our favorites based on that enum in our data model. So there we go there. And then on this library as well, if you tap on any of these cells, that slider menu is going to come back up again. But the only difference here is that because they're obviously all favorited, the only option here is going to be to remove them from your favorites. But you still have the option to copy to your clipboard or delete them. So here we'll show you really quick. And then you can remove these from any of the tabs and it'll update the all library, obviously. We go from there. All right, so then if we want to make a meme, what we're going to do, we're going to have a couple things to do on this screen. The first right here is going to be our button to actually access the photo library on the user's device. And then you're going to be able to select the photo that you want to actually create a meme from. And you have to give it a second here. It was loading the image as I was recording this. And then here actually you can move the image around so you can get the portion that you want. And that'll bring you back to the create screen itself. Next, what a person would do is actually enter the text in the text field. And when you tap into this field, it's actually going to pop up a keyboard. And then you'll be able to type in your text. It'll overlay it on the image itself. And then when you're done, it'll dismiss the keyboard. Cool. Then the last thing we have here to do is to actually create it. So what's going to happen when we hit the create button is it's going to append this meme to our array. And it's going to give us a default category of uncategorized. But what's going to happen is this create button is actually going to segue us to a modal presentation, and you're going to be able to select the category you actually want to put that in afterwards. And then you can select your category and go from there. And then your new meme actually will show up right in.
Awesome work, Chris. We're at the time limit, so can you just wrap up any last?
Yeah, so this is our API. So this will search for your memes through an API here. And then it'll bring up a collection view as before, and then you'll be able to save it. It'll push over to that create screen again. And then you'll be able to categorize and save again there. Here, you're going to be able to delete and send messages. So you can save it to your clipboard and then send it through like an app, or if you want to just text this to someone, I text this one to Scott. And then that'll send there. Let's see here. Those are future goals, so we're good there. And then these are our bloopers, but don't have time for those. Scott's actually going to handle questions if we have questions.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
All right, let's start the questions. And so if anyone has a question, just unmute yourself and let the team respond. So I'll start. My question was, were all of the memes that you had in here, were they all generated with your app, or did you import some?
They were either imported from the photo library or created from the API.
All right, great job, guys. First of all, I need this. So if you get it on test flight, I'll be your first tester. What API did you use? Just out of curiosity.
Giphy.
So it's all okay. Interesting.
We'll stop sharing. There you go.
Oh, there it is. What was your most difficult part about implementing the API? You guys, are you even to that section yet?
Nope. It
so.
wasn't that hard. So really it was just like deeply nested. So it was just kind of like stepping through, figuring out like, all right, I'm here. Now I want to get to here. Like, and I want to get to here. But it wasn't really hard. You know, it took like, you know, probably like an hour or two to, you know, figure it all out.
Now, congratulations on taking the initiative to figure that out. Well done, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So just to be clear, this is after your first 4 weeks of iOS?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good job, guys. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How many late nights did you guys have?
Too many. I don't want to talk about it. Late nights and early mornings.
Yeah, there were a couple of them, but you should have seen the blooper slide. You know, those index out of range things were ridiculous.
They also worked over the weekend. Like they kind of got a head start on it. So that I think definitely helped a ton. So
Well, not Sunday. That was Super Bowl. So, but a little bit Saturday.
That's super awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Great work.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to do our next team. And up next, I've got Carrie and Liz. So if you're here and you've got your medication tracker app called My Pill, you can take over.
Okay, sorry, we're trying to figure stuff out still. Okay, give me 1 second.
That's fine.
Okay, well, I'm Elizabeth, and Carrie's here. I just don't know if she is unmuted or not, because I can't hear her. Let me pull up our keynote.
Carrie, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
here.
I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you. Okay, so I feel like Chris and them kind of set the bar high for us. This is our first 4 weeks, so. My name is Elizabeth, and then I'm working with Carrie. We did a app called My Pill. Basically, it just like kind of tracks like birth control. Like after you take it, you can add it to track it. And then we also added like a feature, and then we added like where you can change different to like where you added it before. And then this one just shows where you can add. We made like the slide thing for you to add like what time and stuff that you added it to. And then for the next one, we have our calendar feature. We weren't sure exactly what we wanted to do with this, but we just add where it's highlighted on our days, and then you can change it from like dark and light mode. Then we have like in our settings, you can change it from gray or white or pink. And then this is kind of like our demo video just to show you that it works.
So our future goals, we would want to maybe add more colors, be able to track your monthly cycle, and perhaps a journal part and a notification. Yeah, well, that's it.
Awesome work. Thank you so much. Did you get a chance to use this application at all, or have anyone else try using it?
Like,
We just did it on the simulator. That's it.
Okay.
we don't
Yeah.
have to really actually track their birth control yet.
What'd you use to get that that calendar view going? That looked really slick.
So I actually used a tutorial on YouTube. Yeah, it was just a tutorial on there because I don't think calendars yet or anything like that. And so I wasn't exactly sure how to do it. So I just looked it up on YouTube.
Nice. Yeah, it looked really good.
Oh, thanks.
Just so everybody knows, I looked it up on YouTube as a perfectly acceptable answer, and it will be a recurring one throughout your entire programming career.
Okay.
There's always something out there to learn and something new to see. What was your most challenging part of building your app?
Most challenging part, so we had issues with the theme selector. So like it wasn't changing color when we actually selected like the toggle, but we got it fixed with some help. Thanks, Spencer.
Also, thanks, Spencer is going to be a recurring theme in your programming career. So thanks, Paul will be thrown in there every once in a while too, just so you know. But great job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Excellent work. I like the calendar. Doesn't matter if you're following a YouTube tutorial or not, getting custom controls like that built, integrating different things is always tricky. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next team. And up next, I've got Stephanie and Benji with MedMate. You want to take over?
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to share my screen. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Code Cuties present to you MedMate, the medication tracker. Always has to be such a big deal with me. Basically, MedMate is an app that it stores a list of all medications and supplements that we take every day. You simply enter the medication name, the dosage amount, and the time you're going to take it. And best of all, when it's time to take your medicine, MedMate will send you a convenient notification to your screen to remind you to do it. There's a handy notes field as well, so you can jot down any additional important information. All in a convenient, easy to use app that's in your pocket and in your palm when you need it. And now Steph is going to explain the app.
Okay, I'll share my screen now. Okay, so this is the app that we made. and I will run it on the simulator for you. Oh, no, it didn't. Wait a minute, I moved folders. Oh no.
Did you move that input up P list?
I did.
Okay, yeah, just pull it out. Yep, that should fix it.
Whew, okay. It's not red. Okay. And this is our app. And what the user does is they come on and they add their medication, and then they can type in the name. So we'll say Advil, the dose 500 milligrams. Then they can come here and they can schedule, okay, I'm gonna take it at 10:30 a.m. And down here, a lot of times people that take a lot of medication, they have a lot, like they want to keep track of refills and things. So down here, they can just type, I need to schedule an appointment for a refill next week. And I have it set up so that way as they type, the text box keeps adjusting its size along with them their typing. And then they just hit save. And their medicine is here, and they can change the theme to a dark theme that has a gray. I do need to fix it so that way, because it shows up here, and then when you go back, it takes a second to load in the update views. So we were working on that, so that's something that I need to fix. And then it does go to a light theme, same thing. And then when we close it out, and we run it again, your changes and your medicine do persist. My favorite part of the code would have to be this part I'm very proud of, the add medications, where I wrote the text box that auto-populates as the user writes it all in code. So it adjusts as they go. And everything does persist. Does anybody have any questions?
That's super awesome. So you did the programmatic constraints. Is that what you're saying right there?
Yes.
For which screen?
Right here for when you add the medication and you type in the note here, it's constrained to the bottom. And this text is this is the text that I have in here in the notes to come up here. And then they can erase it, and it's there's an extension down here, and so it'll adjust the height as they type, and they can pretty much just add as much as they'd like.
Nice. My biggest issue with Instagram is they don't do that with their text field, and like I cannot see what I'm typing.
Yeah,
so
it's
super
annoying.
awesome.
Yeah, I didn't want to have the text view because it blocks out so much. I had it in there, and I'm like, I didn't think it was very aesthetically pleasing either. So I'm most proud of that part.
Does that handle having the keyboard on the screen, or is this currently with it connected to your Mac?
I had it at the top on a different screen. Actually, originally when I wrote it, and I actually just deleted that view controller, but I had a different view controller and a segue down to it. And what was going to happen was the text would be at the top, and then I made the background gray so that way you couldn't tell that I had did that, and the keyboard would pop up. But I looked up persistence with using not persistence, using core data to save it. But I was a little nervous to implement that into the project. And then I didn't actually have a model for the note. So then we went back and added the model. So that's kind of why it's here now. But in the future, I'd like it to be on its own view controller, saving that way.
Got it.
Like you had just said.
That's super cool.
Thank you.
Anyone else have a question, comment?
Yeah, handling the keyboard, the text view getting out of the way, that's super difficult. But like just even doing the programmatic constraints is really awesome. Like having the text box expand is rad. Well done.
Thank you.
Hey, can you try run your app on the dark mode because I found a bug yesterday. So if you run the app on the dark mode, the day picker is gonna disappear. So can you try it?
Wait, what?
So you have like the picker view in your app, right?
I have what in my app? I'm sorry.
The picker.
Oh, the picker?
Yeah. So if you run your app on dark mode, it's gonna disappear. So that's a new bug I
Oh,
found.
in dark mode?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, I have it set to be gray, but we don't have that in there yet. We just picked a gray background. We just have themes in it.
Yeah, I know, right? But when the user they have dark mode on their phone, this might be a problem. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
There was something in our last unit that Spencer shared with me, which I can share with you, is basically like a view controller file that will help with the text. If you were to click on it, it will actually move up the whole entire view controller up and then show just the keyboard. And then when you click return, it will actually drop back down. Spencer showed that to me last month, and it was pretty cool. So I could share that with you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
I actually want you to share that with me too. So just post it somewhere where we can all see it. Great job. The app looks great.
Any other questions? No.
All right. Thank you so much for presenting.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
work, Stephanie and Benji. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next contestant. Enrique, are you here?
Yeah.
All right. Show us what you made.
Let me get this up. One sec, doing it right now. So here we go. So my app is a currency converter, so I'm calling it Converrency. And I included, so this is just how it looks like at the forefront. I included cryptocurrency as well. And so just a quick presentation. It's a simple and efficient currency converter that provides up-to-date exchange rates for foreign currencies and Bitcoin. So it's all taken from the internet. So all of this is up to date and it's updated frequently. So you don't have to worry about, later on if it's like out of date or anything. And here's a little demo of the two slides working. So that was the first one, the converrency, but when you go on to the bottom, you can get access to the Bitcoin one. And as for what's next, what I want to do with the project, biggest thing is I want to have the ability to convert from multiple currencies because I could have done it, but the premium API keys were like upwards of hundreds of dollars. So I didn't want to put like hundreds of dollars for the premium key so I can gain access to converting from multiple currencies. So maybe in the future, if I ever publish this, I will, but as of right now, I abstain from that. Yeah, that's it.
So what you were saying there with that last one was that in order to convert it to like 2 different currencies at the same time, you'd need to pay?
No, like the base is US dollars, but if I wanted to give someone the option to go from euros to something else, that required a premium key. And like those were like upwards of like 200 and stuff.
Awesome. That's super cool. And then a question that I saw, what did you do for those renders? What app is that or what tool? Those look super slick.
For these?
The iPhone renders, you had all the animations.
Oh, I use this
Okay, you're using
program. Yeah,
Rotato.
yeah, I use that.
Nice. Yeah, I saw Sean Allen posted a video about that.
Yeah, I use that to do all my renders. So yeah, I mean, if there's any questions, I can answer.
So you hard coded it, or you based in the JSON from internet?
Yeah. So it's not hard coded. The values are all from JSON data. So that way it stays up to date with what the current values are.
Awesome.
What was your hardest challenge with this one?
The hardest part was actually working with the JSON data a lot of the time, because on this particular one, it was frankly pretty easy to get the values, but the Bitcoin one had like trees. I don't know if that's the way to properly describe it, but like it was like a lot of stuff was embedded into one another. So actually getting it, actually navigating my way through to get the values I needed was and I have it loop through that giant list was the tough part.
So way more data and
Yeah.
sort of a confusing structure.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. And then do you have any Bitcoin or not?
No, I should have invested sooner. I didn't know it was gonna go up this high.
Friendly suggestion: you ought to look into getting data on the branching Ethereum projects and modeling that. Sorry for interrupting.
What?
Ethereum has branching products that have their own abstract values, and I was just suggesting you get information on those because it would require paying for it. Probably.
That's is that another Bitcoin type currency? Ethereum?
Oh, Ethereum? Yeah, it's a cryptocurrency. Yeah,
Got it.
But it's more of like a building framework too than just a currency.
Cool.
So, any final questions or?
All right. Well, that looks good. Thank you so much. Great work, Enrique. I love the renders, and I think it's fantastic that you were able to get networking working in a Unit 1 project. That's super awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, moving forward. Jeremiah, you are up. So you've got a photo deduping project, and you posted, I think, a link to your project.
Yeah, I can't get it. I can't get into test flight in time. So yeah, here I will give you my presentation first, and then do a live demo when it's done.
Sounds good. Take it away.
Okay. So, welcome to the presentation for Eldritch One, my first app. It's a Hamming distance calculator, also a photo deduper. The way it works is that I have an algorithm that determines the number of mutations at a index by index level that need to be done to an image to make it identical to another image. Intrinsically, figuring out the number of differences between two files tells you whether or not an image is a duplicate or not, if that makes sense. This is a type of pseudo machine vision, but it's unlike actual machine vision, which takes people that actually know what they're doing. This is just an algorithmic attempt at rendering data into manageable chunks. I'll actually describe the algorithm as best as I can. Oh, this is the basic walk through the app, only 3 slides. And there you go. The hardest part of it actually was finding a way to get UI image data to data that I could interact and iterate over. So I used Core Graphics to create a uint8 representation of a given UI image, and then return data in an array that I can iterate over and compare by indexed. So that was actually the hardest thing. It took forever. Because every single implementation that I tried, like using strings, literally everything failed horrifically until I found this. I won't go too into the code, but you can look over. This is just the body of the algorithm for one half of it that tells you what's happening. Basically, the algorithm converts the image into a string, and then I iterate over. Then I iterate over both strings depending on which one is larger and compare them index by index. In the future, I'm going to add settings like, like a way to change the theme. And the next version of the app will have it so that the picker enables you to save or select a bunch of images, put them on a gallery view, and then do gross comparison between photos in that collection. So you could upload, say, a whole album. There's just no out-of-the-box set. I was able to find functionality for that, and I was working on my own, so it's actually terrifically difficult to do, at least for me. And I will demo it now. Okay. Let me see. How do I? Oh, pause share. New share.
Are you sharing your actual device?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Can you see my simulator?
Not yet. I don't know if you have to unshare your other screen.
It looks like you're just sharing your Chrome and not the whole screen.
Oh, that's a good. Okay, how about that? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
I see something.
So this is the, right here is the first screen of the app. You click, add a photo from your library or camera roll. We'll choose this pretty flower bed. Go to the next thing, do the same thing. We'll choose one that's not the same, so we'll choose this waterfall. And then the conversion happens. The actual math of the conversion between two images into their handing distance is quite large. As you can see, it's 1 million plus calculations made. And then you can click the little restart app button. It wipes your stuff and takes you back to the beginning. And that is about it.
Very cool. And so I might have missed it. I was just looking away. Did you show it matching there in that last one or not?
Oh, I actually didn't show it determining if two are the same, but I'll do that for you real quick. It can
You're muted right now.
Sorry, I'm currently showing you what it does if you put two of the same image in. Although I discovered an interesting. Yep, see, it tells you that they're duplicates.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah. Are there any questions?
Question: how do you write your own algorithm, or you? So I saw you you have an algorithm, but do you write them yourself, or you?
Oh, I did. Yeah,
okay.
My programming background is in Python, so actually building the algorithm was easy peasy. It was literally difficult because there isn't a convenient way to abstract UI images into data that can be iterated over. And in fact, the only other way to like reduce an image to like binary representation is to like go through a whole core graphics project to be able to convert images to monochrome, or not monochrome, but grayscale. Like it's a huge thing. So yeah, no, I wrote it myself, but it was a huge pain in the butt. I am not the biggest fan of Python or Swift's utility.
Right, that's impressive. Yeah, that's
Thank
really
you.
nice. Yeah.
Worked hard on it.
I love that you pulled out the image data. I did that for I actually made an iPhone app. It made all these images behind me, so I had to play with the color values myself.
Also, you know it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but once you get it working, it's cool.
The real meat of the app, what makes it cool, it's very simple in terms of aesthetic and presentation, but the real meat of it is, if you want to see what I did, look at the link I sent that contains the algorithm. That's the real meat and potatoes of it. I chose the project thinking it'd be easy because in Python it's super easy. Not the case. No, like not easy at all. Anything else?
Very cool. Thanks so much. All right, let's go to our next group. And this is going to be Kirby. We've got Daily Ritual. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Excellent. Take it away.
Cool. Should I start with the keynote first?
Oh yeah.
All right, great. Hold on. I have to go to my privacy to be able to share my screen. Just 1 second.
Okay. Are you going to have to log in and out?
No, because it won't let me share my screen because of privacy reasons. I'm trying to fix it right now.
All right. Well, why don't you work on fixing it, and then we'll have Nick present.
Yeah, go ahead. Cool.
And then we'll come back to you. So Nick, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Should I share my screen right now?
Yes, please.
All right, guys. So my name is Nick. I'm from iOS 14. Okay, I'm gonna play this on my Mac. Hold on. Okay, so my app's name Counter. It's a very simple name. I like symbol. So Counter help people check and say incoming events and have a good laugh by like reading funny codes. App feature. So the main feature is like check time of the incoming events, and they also can send outside the screenshot with the friends and family. Also, so when they tap on the image, you're gonna display some funny codes to the user. Also have like burst notification to notify the user about the message from the future, and then they can give the developer feedback through email or Twitter. And on the table view, I have two swipe buttons so they can delete or edit it. Also, they can sort the events. And then also when they log out of the app, they can basic data. So let me go on Xcode real quick. Okay. Run the app. Okay, allow. Okay, so a new event, gonna go to my. So right here, the good thing is like when they tap the text field, it's gonna show only the emoji keyboard. So I'm gonna type in something here, then print your test line. Okay, pick some time, right? Also, they can like in the more time when they click it, they're gonna show the debit card for the time only, and they're gonna show under the label right here. When they click stay, it's gonna go on the table view cell. And when they click the cell, it's gonna show the detail, you know, see, countdown label. And they can say to their friends or stay image. Okay, and then go back. So even it, New Year. Okay. So what if the user they not pick the day in the future, but they actually pick the day in the past? That's the bug, right? So we see what happened, right? So actually, this is not gonna run the timer. Everything working fine, and actually you can short the event, can short manually, or you can short like by the time. Okay, so let's check the burst notification. So like Christmas, right? Christmas. Okay. Okay, what time is it? 3:53, right? I gotta turn it on 3:54 to check if the notification work. Okay, so I'm gonna count down, and then when the time come, I go out of the app and I'm gonna burst notification. So in the meantime, if I go on here, press contact, it's gonna go on my Twitter. Yeah, so go on my Twitter, and then if the user finds some bug, they can give me some feedback. Also, they can check out my another app on the App Store, because this is a simulator, so it's not gonna work. And also, they can send me an email. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if the burst notification work. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I worked so hard for this one. Yeah. Actually, you know, you can edit it by swipe left, and you can go to edit it. Right here. Yeah. Okay, 15 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna go out of the app and wait. Yeah, so that's the message from the future. Love you. One another thing is like the user actually can click the image and then they show some like funny quote. Yeah, I think
That's awesome.
yeah, that's awesome. That's it. Yeah. So my future goal is I try to fake the quote from the internet. So I actually hard coded this in this project, but the next one I'm gonna like base in JSON everything, and I try to add some like circular post animation, and try to rebuild the entire app, use a collection view instead, and add more features such as play sound or let user add image. Yeah, that's all, guys. Thank you.
That's super slick. Thank you for showing that. I love that detail view that you pulled up. That just looks so fun with the years, months, days, the rounded corners. Everything just feels like really cohesive down there.
The good thing is like this app actually available on the App Store yesterday. I released it, and yeah, it's on the App Store right now. So if you guys like it, you guys can download it.
And
Any-
it's called
any-
what on the App Store?
Cal X. Yeah, I send you a link in the iOS channel.
Awesome. Any other questions?
How'd you get that swipe left animation?
You mean this one?
Yeah.
That's a good question. So that's actually on the in the table view. They got a function. It's called leading swipe or something. Right here. Yeah, this actually have a function in the table view. Yeah, you can look it up on a tutorial.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I really struggling to perform the segue, but you know, with the help of Spencer, I figure out. Yeah. Any question?
No, but you did a hella good job, dude.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
How did
Yeah,
you build? How did you build the detail view? Is that storyboard? Did you do programmatic constraints?
Actually, I use storyboard. I like the constraint in the code better, but yeah, I build everything in storyboard. I very hate storyboard, but yeah. I got this one I built this is actually the side menu, but I do the background color. It's a clear color, so you're not gonna see it. But actually, this is an entire side menu right here. You know what I mean? Let me show you. Yeah, so I change the background color. Actually, this it's white color, but I try to clear color, so you're not gonna see it. Yeah.
Super cool. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Yeah.
All of these projects have been super cool. All right, Kirby, were you able to? Well, actually, no.
Well, I don't know yet.
We're going to take a 5-minute break. So, Kirby, why don't you and I just see if we can get your screen sharing?
Yeah,
and then
please.
we'll circle back.
Okay.
So, everyone else, you're free to get up, stand up, get those standpoints, walk around, get some water, and we'll come back and finish it out with the rest of iOS 14, and then we'll dive right into iOS 11. All right, Kirby, can
let
you
me try
try and share?
It says to go to system preferences.
Yep.
Security and privacy, but when I go, I don't see nothing though. Let me see.
Did you try like unclicking the lock and then it should let you select the zoom?
No, but I only see QuickTime Player though. I don't see Zoom.
So if you go to security and privacy.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's on your right.
It's beach balling on me. Nope, I can't seem to do that. So if you click on that, do you see under, is it?
It's
accessibility?
Screen recording.
Screen recording.
Screen recording, yeah.
And have you enabled it?
Well, I don't see Zoom. I only see QuickTime Player.
So Zoom is not in your list?
No.
Do you have the latest version of Zoom?
Yeah. Maybe, hold on.
You may need to quit Zoom and then drag it in there, and then
And my apps, right?
Yeah. So you might need to leave this meeting and then come back.
Yeah. Let me try.
And see if that works.
Okay. Let me try again. Well, now you need to leave so that I can try again. I mean,
Oh,
you need
sorry.
to
I need to stop sharing.
recording.
Yeah. 1 sec. Let me find the controls. They're on the wrong screen. Okay. So if you try it.
No. Still the same thing.
What's it show? Nothing. Can you drag the, I don't know if we can just drag the app from the applications folder.
Let me try that. No.
Can you check what version you have? I have version 4.5.5 for Zoom. If you go up to your menu bar and click on zoom.us.
It's 4.6.4.
Okay, so you have an even newer version than me, and that's not working. And you quit Zoom totally?
No, I did not. Let me try to do that.
Oh yeah, you've got to,
back.
yeah, quit completely.
Okay.
Any different now after logging back in?
No, there's only QuickTime Player because this is my first time doing it. Actually, my second time. I made it work before, but I don't know why it's not working now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you click check for updates, do you see anything in the Zoom app?
Check for updates. No, because I think I have the latest version. No, there's nothing.
Okay. My only other recommendation is maybe uninstall it and then try and come back in after you reinstall it and see if maybe one of the security permissions didn't work or if you can get that to go through. And if that doesn't work, then we can sync up afterwards and go through the presentation.
Okay, no problem. Let me try that.
Okay, cool. And it looks like Nick shared his app. So if you want to check that out, that is in the iOS thread. Thank you, Nick. Super slick job. All of you have been doing really good. So we're going to get back to it. If you're there, you can show your face and we'll continue with our demos. right, let me pull up the next team. Nicole. We've got Benji. Are you back? Okay, I am not seeing that. Okay, so let's move on to the next team. We're gonna jump into some of the iOS 11 projects. So these students have been through all 4 units of iOS, so they've got a lot more exposure to the different APIs, networking, core data, saving, and persistence. And we've got some really cool projects here, so I'm looking forward to these. To kick it off, Skylar, Percy, and Dennis, are you ready to present?
Yep. Yeah, I should be ready.
Awesome. Take it away.
Okie dokie. Oops. Sorry. Oops. All right. All right. So our app is called Zipper. I am Skylar. My teammates were Dennis, Rudolph, and Percy. As technology, oops, sorry, trying to move things around. I can't see this. Hold on, quick. Sorry. All right. As technology continues to integrate into our social lives, it is becoming increasingly difficult to stay in touch with local communities. Our app Zipper provides an easy access message board to those in your area. So this is our demo. On our left will be my phone. On the right will be the simulator. So when you launch the app, it'll prompt you for a sign in. You sign in, it's going to ask for your permissions. And because our app is severely using your location, it should prompt me with a, oh, I guess I accepted the privacies already. It should ask you to use your location when you log in for your privacies. But I guess I accepted it. So this is our feed when we load the app. These posts are relative to my location. My phone is in LA. So let's say that you want to make a post on your message board about something in LA. Let's say we want to tag with sports and general. So the tags will be there. Let's label it tickets to the Lakers game. I have an extra ticket to or first, if I can spell correctly. All right, so we'll post it and it'll update on there. I'll also show my recent activities, my recent posts that I made. Well, let's say this is, 2 days from now, and tomorrow I have to fly out to San Francisco for a business trip. So that night we fly out to San Francisco, and we land in San Francisco, and we want to check out what's going on in San Francisco the next day. When we get there, we open up the app, and this will be for San Francisco. And what do you know? We got some events happening in San Francisco. We got a jazz club outing. Someone's talking about the Lowell Heights Cardinals and Thai food. Let's see if anyone's talking about Thai food. All right, this Dennis that posts about this new Thai elephant on Bay Street. So let's just comment saying that. Check it out. Thanks. And let's just check to see if anything else is happening here. So let's refresh this. Oh, look. Someone's looking for a math tutor, but I don't care about math. So we'll let that be. So we're done in San Francisco. And we're going back to LA. And we land in LA. And let's check my post to see if anything is happening in or responding to my tickets about the Lakers game. Oh, nobody. Guess no one wants a free ticket. So you know what? I'm gonna get rid of that because no one really cares about that anymore. Now let's just check to see what's going on in my area. Oh, someone's talking about a streaker on Stockton Street, but you know, I don't think that's kind of inappropriate, so I'll flag that as inappropriate. And that is our app. For future goals, we want to filter the distance. The amount right now we have is 50 miles from our current location or your phone's location, and using filtering by tags so that right now it's only filtering by date. But if you prefer to look at anything more sports related or art or any kind of tags, then that'll go to the top. Choosing favorite tags as well and incorporating maps to post. So using MapKit to pin a location that people can kind of get an idea of where it's like an event might be hosted. You use it, Google Maps or Apple Maps, whatever your preference is. And that is Zipper. Clever idea by Percy. Zipper is like an actual zipper to bring in communities closer and like using your zip code. So if you're ever wondering how we came up with that.
That's an awesome name. Thank you. Any questions for Team Zipper?
Hey, Skylar, great job. How did you guys get the immediate area to return the messages? Is there a radius, or is there a certain, what is it, within an array of zip codes, or how'd you go about it?
Yeah, I was gonna answer that, yeah.
Yeah, so we get the user's location when they sign in, and it gets the coordinates, the latitude and longitude, and basically if it's within 1 degree of their latitude and longitude, it'll show up. So it's around like 50 miles. But yeah, like a future goal would be to be able to adjust, you know, the radius of the posts that come in.
Great job, guys. I thought that was super awesome. You might have mentioned this. I was kind of working on something else as well. How did you guys go about doing that custom tab bar? Because I thought that was really cool with that animation.
That tab bar is a CocoaPod.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's a pretty fun pod to work with. I think it was a little bit difficult because we went through the first CocoaPod didn't really work with a selected index. And then so we went back to the default Apple tab bar because you could actually set the selected index that started on. And then we decided to go to this and just change the tab bars around to move from left to right. But
cool, awesome, thanks.
Yeah, I think it's gonna work now.
Excellent work. Love it, Skylar. Thank you so much for sharing. What was the one most challenging thing that you faced on this project?
I think we all kind of had different ideas of like the main goals of the app in the beginning. So kind of just all being on the same page took a little while. I think just maybe because we're remote, so it was difficult to all get on the same page. But
yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. Making sure we didn't try to stretch for too much, because this app could put us in a certain direction, and making sure we kind of just stayed on the track that we wanted to accomplish, which was mainly just communicating with locals around you instead of adding so many features that kind of took away from that main thing that we want to stick to.
Super. Okay. Kirby, we're going to have Willa Marie and Brian go real quick because we have a scheduling conflict. But if we do them and then you, then we'll see if we can sort of rearrange. So Willa Marie or Brian, if you want to take over.
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and share.
Excellent.
You can see it?
Yep.
All right, well, my name is Wilma, and I was working with Brian this week on Santa I Wish. For the mission of our app. So Santa I Wish is a convenient app where children can save a wish list for Christmas and even write letters to Santa. Items can be added to the wish list with a picture, so Santa has no trouble knowing exactly what they want. Our key features: parents can create an account, multiple children can have each their own profile, children can write personal letters to Santa Claus, and each child can add items to their own Christmas wish list. I want to say our number one feature would be the fact that we have different profiles for kids inside one account, and making it easy for each child to keep track of their own wish list, plus keeping the wish list organized for Santa. I'm going to go over the feature goals now. Santa Tracker API, that's something that I really wanted to implement, we just didn't have enough time. Christmas Day counter, passcode secured parent profiles. So a profile designated for the parents and a budgeting tool for the parents. I'm gonna pass it over to Brian for the demo.
All right, just give me 1 second to share my screen. All right, so this is the app. Now, we're gonna kick it off by going into the profile dashboards. So this is where you can create the profiles for each kid. Now, I'm gonna create 2 profiles. The first one's gonna be for my little brother, Nathan, who is 7. And the other one for my little sister, Dana, who is about 3.5. I'm gonna go into Nathan's profile, and we're gonna go into the wish list, and we're gonna create some toys, because my little brother for these past couple of days has been asking me, or been telling me that he wants Santa to get him, I think, a box of Legos. So we're gonna upload a picture of some Legos that I think he wants, and we're gonna add a little description. We're gonna save it to his wish list, and we're actually gonna add another toy to his wish list. We're gonna click on the image, and I'm going to give him the little dinosaur. We're gonna save it to his wish list. And now we're gonna go back and we're gonna go into the letters table view, and we're gonna create a letter for Santa. Now, we're gonna create one for the T-Rex. Then we're gonna save it. And now we're gonna go back to the profile dashboard, and we're actually gonna go into my little sister's account. We're also gonna create some items for her wish list. Now, my little sister hasn't said what she wants for Christmas, but I'm assuming she wants something like this because she has a ton of these dolls all over her room. And we're going to go back and just like with the Nathan's profile, we're actually going to send a letter to Santa. And we're going to send it. And that's basically the gist of our app. When you go back to the profiles, it tells you how many letters you have sent to Santa and how many items are in the wish list. And that's basically it. Thank you.
Awesome. That's so cool. I love the theme with the cards and the collection views. That's super, super slick looking. Any questions for the Santa wish list?
Oh, what happened when you sign out?
Can you repeat that again?
Like when you tap sign out, do you actually sign out?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we just didn't show it because I mean it's just signing in and signing out, and that's kind of boring to show.
Okay.
You build your UI in storyboard like 100% in code.
No, we did our UI 100% in storyboard.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Did you use a CocoaPod for some of those elements, or did you like design them yourselves?
I designed everything in there.
That's
Yeah, we need CocoaPods.
Yeah, it looks like something I would have found in like a material design CocoaPod or something, but it looks fantastic. Great job.
I may have seen this project once or twice throughout the build week, but I already told you guys I want this, and not necessarily for any nieces or nephews that I have a plethora of, but for myself, just so I can keep track of all the things I want from Santa. So I think it's going to be very functional. But do you guys want to talk a little bit about the difficulty with getting core data to talk nicely with Firebase? I was going to ask you what the most difficult part of your project was, but I think I already know it. So if you guys want to go over that and how you made it work, that would be great.
I actually ended up reaching out to Paul because I had such a hard time. We were at it for a while. We had a relationship between the child and the parent already, and then the child with the item and the letters. But once it came to the table view and we had to populate it with the information, it was really tricky to actually use core data and get those objects out of the child object. But yeah, Paul helped us out. There was a different way to add items to the child in core data that I didn't know about. So that's what ended up helping.
All right, fantastic job. Great work on the design. It looks super slick. We always like when things look pretty. So congratulations. And I hope that your brother gets some Legos. All right, so up next, Kirby, you want to give it a go and see if you can share your screen?
Yeah, it should work now.
If that
Yeah.
works, you can take it away.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Excellent. Yep.
So my app, it's called Daily Ritual. It's an easy, organized, and elegant way to create, some tasks and some rituals. Let me show you the app. Can you see my phone?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So this is it. When you first open the app, you get like 4 folders that are already there from the get-go. You can create, I mean, for list. You can create a new one if you want to. You can add a title. Let's say, I don't know. Wait. You can choose an icon. You can also change the color. You can also open the library. So you can take an icon from the library, like an image for the library, from the library if you want to. Yeah. So you can add it, and then let's try to, okay, we can delete that. Let's try to create a new task. You can add a note. You can add the time that you actually want to go to the gym. So let's say I want to go to the gym at 5. It's 4:27 right now. So let's say I want to go at 5:27. I can click that, and I can put a reminder if I want to. So I can click add. So this is it. I can go back and go in. And when you're done, there's like a little animation here. You can actually long press on a list to change the picture, and also change the title. You can also delete it. And if you kill the app and you go back, everything persists. That's basically it.
That is so cool. Are those SF symbols that you're using?
Yeah, everywhere, basically. Everywhere. That was very fun.
Wow. They look super nice in that UI.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have questions?
Many.
I actually got the email for Test Flight not too long ago, and I downloaded it myself. That's super awesome. Test Flight. I didn't even know what Test Flight was my first build week, as much as they told us and tried to tell us to get it on there. It is a pain. So let me know, what were some of the hardships of even just getting that on Test Flight? I know that there are some requirements that we haven't even gone over yet.
What do you mean? Like, how hard was it to get it to
I
Test
mean,
Flight?
like, did you pass first upload? Like, was there anything missing? Was there anything you learned about the process, or just, you know?
No, I already knew it before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they took a long time to review it. I don't know why. But yeah, it took like almost 48 hours for it to get approved. I don't know why.
That's long. Normally it's about a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I have to ask, how did you implement the animation for the completed task?
Oh, it's a library it's by Airbnb. They created it. It's called, this is it right here. Let me show you. By the way, everything is done in code. I don't use storyboard. It's
wow.
It's called a Loti iOS. It's pretty cool. And that's the way I did it. Hold on. So basically, you gotta create the animation. That's the name of it. And when the text, like when something is done, you just play it. Right here. That's it.
Yeah, using pods in your first 4 weeks. Well done. Congratulations. Great project.
Any questions?
Is that a pre-canned animation, or did you actually customize it with the Lodi?
No, I didn't customize it at all. You can go to, this is it. It's like a website full of animations.
And so you can just download different animations and.
Yeah, it's like a JSON file. You just add it to your project. This is it right here. That's the
Oh,
file.
okay, that was what the ribbon was. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just put it in a view, and then you play it or pause it whenever you want.
Fantastic.
It's pretty simple, but yeah, that was the idea.
This
I'm
is
gonna keep working on it though, because that's something I want. That it's for me.
excellent work, Kirby.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna keep going. We've got a couple more projects. If I'm counting correctly, it looks like 3. Dan and Nar, are you ready to present Spy?
Sure.
Yep.
There we go. Second here. Oh, of course. Sorry, just gonna pull these pictures off of my display. I think I know how to use a computer. All right, here we are. So, Spy, this is a game, it's a group game. You sit around in a circle and you have one person who, everybody's an object, and they're all the same object with the exception of one person. And they're similar objects. So something like a shovel and a rake or something like that. And so everybody will be a shovel and one person's a rake. And so the idea is you go through each round and try to figure out who is the thing that's different from me, because you don't know, so I'm a shovel, is everybody else a shovel, or is everybody else something different? And so you don't know, you might be the spy, but you don't know if you're the spy until you get going and you figure out what the other thing is. So, okay. So I basically made this game for my family. I've got 3 kids, so my wife and I, we like to play games with them, and this game is typically run by a human moderator, and that means that only 4 of us would actually be able to play. And it's not a great game with only 4 people. 5 makes it a little better. And so I just made this app so that we could have the phone kind of be the GM or run the game. And I'm aiming for a new genre called machine moderated group games. And so this is the first in a series probably. Yeah, so that's kind of the problem that it solves. And again, you're just looking to figure out who is the one person. It's sort of like Mafia, or there's other games that are similar to this too. So there are 2 play modes. So you've got pass and play, where you just pass the phone or the iPad around. And then you've got whatever, Wi-Fi local play, not Wi-Fi, like wireless local play. And so I'll just stop sharing my screen, and Nar, if you want to share yours, we'll run you through a quick demo. This is the local play. And so there are 3 technologies that this uses. It can use the local Wi-Fi, it can use Bluetooth, or it can use like distributed Wi-Fi, where they're all just connecting through Wi-Fi with each other. So we've got a little like how to play thing. And then, so before we move on, I just want to point out these buttons. So can you like tap and hold that, Nar? So watch how it kind of pops in. Boom. It's hard to see through Zoom, but it's pretty cool on the phone. So those shadows all happen programmatically using core graphics, and they have haptics as well. So we'll just go ahead and add 4 players here, and we'll add me and Nar and Paul and Ben.
Oh, sorry guys.
If you just restart that one, that might.
Yeah, give me a quick sec.
I feel like this technology is maybe a little bit not super dependable, but it could be the coding as well. It was pretty difficult to get working.
It's definitely the technology. It's not us.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just gonna go ahead and
We just. Yeah, sure. Sorry, Paul. We're probably going to go over time.
All right. Launching it.
So while he's doing that, the Pass and Play version is on the App Store, but it does not have good UI. It's like totally stock. And
when you say App Store, do you mean Test Flight?
No, I mean on the App Store.
Oh wow, nice.
So if you want to play, you can download it. Again, the UI is like janky and ugly, but whatever, the functionality is there and you can play, and I'll get it looking good and get it up in the next couple of weeks or so.
All right, local play. Let's get these going. We got Dan.
All right, so then as everybody connects, you can actually see who's in the game. And this works the same whether it's on a device, like an actual device or the simulator. So there, the one on the left is the spy, is a truck. We're kind of cheating. You wouldn't normally know everybody else's role. So we can go ahead and move past that.
Oh shoot, sorry guys. We are running into a slight error.
Wow. Maybe I can do it.
Yeah, you want to try it? Well, when we did it in front of Lambda, the entire school, about 400 people this morning, it went smooth. So you have to apologize for the slight hiccup.
Are you seeing my screen? I can't tell.
Yeah, yeah, we're good.
Let's see if this will work. So far, so good. All right. So again, the one on the left is, and we just have one pair right now for demonstration purposes, but there's like, I don't know, 18 or something in the app, and I'll add more of those too. But whoever's on the left there, they're the spy. So it's Ben is the spy. So whatever, we go around, and so every person will say something about the thing that they are, like, okay, I have 4 wheels or whatever. And so let's say we're going to get rid of Dan. He's kind of a punk. So we'll just get rid of him. And then Dan casts his vote. So Dan's out. We're going to keep going. And yeah, let's get rid of Ben. We all know he's a Cybertruck. And he's going to vote for Nar. There it is. Game over. The defenders won. They eliminated the spy. Once it gets down to just 2 people left, if the spy is one of them, then the spy wins. So, and the name label that flashes right there, that's not in the actual app. That was just there to try to make the demonstration a little easier to grasp.
Yeah, I think when I was refactoring it right now for the presentation, I think there might have been a label that I didn't comment out. So that's probably why.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So because we had that for the one we did for Shark Tank this morning. But yeah, just to emphasize, yeah, it was the technology of multi-pair connectivity is native to iOS. So it's something that we can really only do, which is really cool. Serverless communication. So there's not a lot of documentation on it, and it's pretty complicated, but it's definitely something cool, I think.
Yeah,
iOS offers.
It was interesting. I feel like the hardest thing that we dealt with during this project was trying to figure out who's actually running the game, because you're randomly generating like who is the spy, and you're randomly generating which pair of items are you actually using. And so if everybody generates them randomly, they're not going to match. And you can everybody has the same app, so everybody has to do the same thing. And so it was like, you can't really say whoever connects first is in charge. The way we implemented it, there is no like head. And so we talked about it for a while, and we finally got on a call with our SL, and then the teacher hopped on. We kind of were talking through it and finally came up with the idea of simply sorting the players by a unique identifier, and then everybody grabs the first person in that sorted array of users, and then that person is the one who calls the shots about all the randomness that happens. So kind of feeds that out, and then ultimately went with everybody feeding votes back to that person, so that he would know who to eliminate and then send it back out. So it's like back and forth that way. So
if you notice, actually, when the individual who's been selected as the main user or the game manager, when they press let's go, it actually makes everyone's view controller disappear and move on to that next screen. So if another user clicks let's go, it just kind of hides it until the actual game manager says, hey, let's ready, we're ready, and that notifies all the other users through the multi-peer to take on that next step and go to the eliminate view controller. So
yeah, there's definitely
Excellent.
some UX improvements that could happen, and then also there's like a million edge cases that we simply didn't even begin to handle at all. So
All right, let's open up for questions. Fantastic job.
thanks. Look at these buttons though. So
it looks like it's like the entire screen is just like rubberized or something. Like, it's really awesome. You guys did an amazing job.
We had help. Marlon was helping me, and Spencer was helping me with the buttons. Paul helped us with the communication protocol. Ben was on with us several times.
We definitely used everyone's bandwidth.
Yeah, we had a lot of help.
Funny, when that loaded, I was like, I think Marlon would like that.
Yeah. Marlon wants me to make more shadows, but I don't know if he's still here or not. But yeah, he was my inspiration for it. Something that he threw up on the channel a while back.
How hard was it to implement the actual logic of the game? You know, what was that? That's like stepping through that.
That wasn't that hard. I mean, it's pretty simple. Like, I wrote the logic for the pass and play first, and we basically just had to completely write a new set of logic for pass and play. The way that
for local play, that was where it got really complicated, because you don't know who's going to pass what information and whose information you disregard, and you need to write all that in and decide. So that was Wednesday or Tuesday night. We were definitely like, should we use Firebase? That was definitely crossed
well,
our
when we
mind.
started the week, we hadn't even landed on whether we were going to use Firebase or this kind of
technology,
distributed whatever. So, I mean, I feel kind of embarrassed after iOS 14 that like I don't have any machine learning or you know, I think
when I use two APIs or something. So
yeah. You guys are killing it, by the way. iOS 14. You guys are like off the chain. Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Team Spy. This was great. Networking is really hard. Networking, there's lots of edge cases. And so what you're seeing here is a game that's communicating, and you can have physical devices, and it actually works with simulators, and you can just have them all talking together. You don't even need like internet connection, and you can play the game off the grid. So it's a super cool technology that you can integrate into your apps. There are a lot of edge cases, so that's why it's challenging, but as you can see, it's possible to do in a week. All right, so I think we've got 2 more projects. John, are you ready to show off Task Projector?
I am indeed.
All right.
Share my screen. Okay.
Good to go.
Okay, so this is Task Projector, an app by me. So this is essentially yet another to-do app, and you might be wondering why, after seeing all of the numerous task management apps in the App Store, why would I make another one? Well, I've used or tried to use a fair number of those, and the issue I always come up with is I have a hard time prioritizing. This is an issue another friend of mine had, and he made a spreadsheet as a solution, and he actually approached me in about turning his spreadsheet into an app. So this is sort of a first pass attempt at that. So basically, depending on the data you feed it, like due date and time estimate and when it was created, it'll actually order your tasks and essentially in terms of urgency, so that you don't have to think about what you should do next. It'll tell you what to do next. And there's also a feature to see tasks available near you based on a location that you can set in your tags. So behind the scenes, I decided to not use any segues to sort of attempt to get rid of the sort of merging of different responsibilities. So this coordinator object is what handles like the navigation between different scenes and whatnot. I attempted first to do no storyboards, but that made things a little too difficult. I was trying to use programmatic and zib files, but there were some issues that came up with that. So I ended up using storyboards just for the UI design, but not for any segue stuff. And I also used Realm rather than Core Data. It's essentially another on-device persistence method, an alternative to Core Data, which came with its own issues but a lot of strengths as well. There's a lot of upsides to it and some downsides, but it was definitely a learning opportunity figuring out how to use Realm. For the future, I've got a ton of ideas that I at first was going to try to implement a lot of these this week, but essentially could have used this very app in prioritizing what I would work on, but I hadn't finished it yet by the time I needed to get prioritizing. So I picked a few things that seemed like would be the best for this week and left these on the table for next time. So let me pull up the simulator. So this is a working version of the app. Here it starts off with the next tasks. So this is this prioritized view based on due date and time estimate primarily. As you can see, finish build week project is on here. If I long press on it, I can set it to on hold, done or dropped or active, which is what it is now. I can also just set it to done by just tapping on it like that. Let's go ahead and add a new task. Let's say I need to feed the cat again. She's been meowing in the background. Luckily, she hasn't been too loud. I could just save it now and just save it just with the title, but let's go on and add some details. Let's put this under personal stuff. Should only take a few minutes depending on how obnoxious she is and swiping at my hand and whatnot. Say I have to do this by the end of the day. Yeah, sure. Let's say 6 o'clock. Tag this for home. I do need to do it at home. Okay, so there's my details. Let's say that, actually, maybe I'll do this a little bit later, adjust that and go back. That'll be adjusted. Now I can save it. Okay, now feed the cat is at the top of my to-do list. Let's say I already did the dishes today. I can tap that, and I don't want it to go away immediately, just so I can sort of keep track of things if I do a few things like this. Mowing the lawn, it's been super rainy. I'm not going to be able to do that for a while. Let's drop that, and now I can refresh this. It'll get rid of some of those tasks I don't need to worry about anymore. Let's take a look at some of my tags. So here's all of the work projects that I have. Here's home projects. I can set my location by going here. Gives me a map kit view. Now I can zoom in. Don't tell anyone where I live. It's somewhere around here. And if I hadn't set this, it would just center on my current location to start with. And then I could, if I long tap on a location, it'll set that location as the location for that tag. You can also just not set a location for that particular tag. And then I can see tasks near me. And this takes my current location, and if there's any tags that have a location near my current location, it'll list all of the tasks of that tag that I can complete. And that is Task Projector.
Wow. Very cool. Any questions for John?
That was awesome, John. Could you talk a little bit about how hard it was to work with maps?
I really didn't do much with it. The only thing that I added that we didn't go over essentially was adding something based on a long press. And that was just adding making a gesture recognizer object and then adding that to the map view. And then it has a function for taking like the coordinates of a press, and then it just like automatically converts that to a coordinate, and then I just add that coordinate to the object model.
John, how difficult was it working with your partner?
I did not have a partner.
For future, for people who may be watching this or getting ready to prepare for a build week, would you recommend working with a partner?
I would highly recommend working with a partner. I did hear like horror stories about merge conflicts, but as long as you can avoid those, I really wish that someone could have been working on like the UI. As you can see, the UI is fairly basic. And it would have been nice if like someone could have been working on that while I was working on the algorithm or on the realm persistence or something. Just even that much would have been a huge help, because I didn't have a ton of time for like polishing, and I was trying to do TL training at the same time. Highly recommend working with a partner, long story short.
Great job.
I just want to say I think this is super awesome. I loved your slide about all of the future features that you have, and that's so normal that I think it's great that you have a solid MVP product that works well. It's got it really honestly has a ton of features that I wouldn't necessarily even call it an MVP. And the best part is you did that in a week, and no one's saying that you can't come back to it later, right? You know, when you've got some free time at night, or I don't know, later on in the course or after you finish, you can just keep adding these things. And I think that's something that being able to have that discipline in saying, okay, I'll stop at these features for now and get it done, is something that's hard, because we always want our apps to be perfect. And I think where you're at is a fantastic sort of version 1.0, and there's always more time to add more features. So don't worry about that or anything. So great job. It looks awesome. I love it.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, and I actually like started out the week adding a lot of like the model properties for future features, and then realizing that I wouldn't be able to implement them. So I still got like recurring date and like defer dates and just all this sorts of stuff on the back end, but yeah, just decided to drop it for now.
Nice.
At least.
Excellent. Did your friend use this yet? Who's using the spreadsheets?
Not yet. I wanted to clean it up just a bit more before I handed it off to him.
Okay, super. All right, thank you so much, John. We've got one more group. Brandy, Jerry, and Jonathan, are you ready to show off the honeymoon planner?
We're not entirely ready. but I can show you what we have up to this point. But
Sounds good.
okay, I will start then. Okay, so my name is Jerry, and I worked with Brandy and Jonathan. Our app is called the Honeymoon Planner. The goal of our app is for soon-to-be-wed couples to, add convenience to making or planning out their honeymoon or potential honeymoons. So we start off in the settings. They have very nice parents, so they had a nice hefty budget. You can adjust the budget. Maybe they took out a loan too. Got a bigger budget. We add wish list items. So when you're together with your, future spouse, you guys just discuss what would be the makings of, the perfect vacation, just, variety of different things. Maybe they don't mesh together, but just what do you want to do to enjoy the honeymoon? Then from there, we go to adding the vacations. We start off with naming the location. Let's say Disneyland. Our map is a little janky at the moment, but you would long press to store the location. And then from there, it saves your location. You name the honeymoon. We'll just call this Disneyland again. You set start date, an end date. Potentially these would be the dates you're flying in and out, or just when you plan to travel there. If you're flying overseas, seasons are different, so maybe you'll plan it a little later. Save this. Unfortunately, part of our broken app is that it's not populating until I get out of said view or instead of the app. But then you would add activities to the vacation off the detail. That feature isn't working at the moment. But then, so once you have your vacation set, you have your activities, or just maybe going to that location itself could check off things of your wish list. So maybe like the beach is kind of near, whatever, check that off. Now we have like the beach feature. And there are a few implementations missing, such as the price of this. Each activity, as you add them, racks up the cost of the vacation. So you're able to look at this collection view and compare all the different prices of all the different honeymoon options you have made up. And then once you check off different wish list items, it would give you like a number, like 4 out of 5 total wish list items. So then you can cross compare, the Hollywood vacation cost $70,000, only marks off one of our wish list items, but the Huntington Beach vacation cost, $75,000, a little bit more, but marks off 4 out of the 5. And then as you add more vacations and potentially wish list items, you can cross-reference like which ones give you more bang for your buck and are just, within your budget in general. And that is all we have to this point.
Super. That text to the date picker to text field was super slick. Just populates the time and the date. Super nice. Any questions for Jerry's team?
Yeah, I actually want to know how you did that, because I was trying to figure it out and gave up after searching around, just did it a different way. So I'd love to hear, or like even if you just like followed a tutorial you found, if you could share it.
I did that feature, and I actually looked around on YouTube and tried to follow some things on there. And then I actually looked on GitHub and searched like date picker and random people's projects and kind of just like pulled all of like the things that I found together. The hardest part about it was it was like dismissing after selecting the date, and then I would have to click on the text field again to set the time. And it was like one line in there that was like messed up, and Paul helped me fix that. So that was like I was like racking my brain for like a day of trying to fix that. And then Paul found it in like 2 seconds. But yeah, it's kind of like a mesh of YouTube and random things that I found on GitHub.
That's awesome. Major props. It looks great.
I told you the YouTube would be a recurring theme, everyone. What was the most difficult part of the project?
Merge conflicts, I would say. We had a lot of issues. I think Brandy had to, we had to start a completely new repo. We had to basically start the project from scratch on I think it was Wednesday. And then core data, we had some core data issues, with relationships and different entities. And that was hard. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for presenting today. Congratulations. You did it. You went through the build week. I know this, for some of you, has been incredibly hard. You've been hitting your head against the wall. You've run into different things. The projects that you presented today all looked fantastic. Each one of you used something new or different that we didn't teach. And that's if there was one skill that you could learn, it's learning how to learn new APIs, incorporate new frameworks, look at tutorials, pull out the things you like and put them into your own project. So that's a super killer skill that's going to get you hired. That's what employers are looking for. So congratulations to everyone on the projects that you presented today. If you didn't present today and you're just watching, maybe you're in a new cohort and you're going to be starting on Monday, good luck. It's going to be fun. You're going to build a lot of cool apps, and then look forward to the different build weeks where you get the opportunity to explore these new APIs. Thanks so much for joining, and I will see you all in Unit 4 or in our next kickoff. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.